We have all of our new altered product here with us today. We're going to be going over the sleeves, the new playmats, the new play boxes, and we're going to go over a box of we're going to go through a box of boosters of Beyond the Gate.
Yeah, so this isn't the Kickstarter, this is the official street release of Beyond the Gates for Altered.
Mm-hmm.
It is less than half the price of the Kickstarter booster boxes, but you still get your rares and you still get your uniques, so...
All your goodies are still in there.
They're still in there.
Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to get cracking on them.
So first, we're going to start with the playmats, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this one, which features Asgartha, I think is what the...
Asgartha's the main big, city in there, yeah.
Yeah. The art and everything is fantastic. I have a box cutter on me. I used to open this.
Mm-hmm.
Should this... I have a bunch of dumb stickers on this. So hopefully it doesn't look silly.
It adds character.
Okay, good. There we go. Alright, first, playmat. Ahoy!
First playmat.
Ooh, it looks really good.
That looks very nice. Let's unroll that bad boy.
The colors on this are really pretty.
It's a gorgeous look.
I've seen this picture at least, a billion times now.
Yeah, because it's used in a lot of the promotional stuff, but it's gorgeous in person.
Seeing it in person is totally different. There's a lot of pinks and oranges that pop out that I couldn't really see before.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice mat.
It is really pretty. And, for a second I thought it still had the guide.
Oh, the play zones and stuff?
Play zones, yeah.
Yeah, well that's over on I believe that's on the whale mat.
That's going to be on the whale mat, and so I like that the art mat is dedicated to being the art mat.
Uh-huh.
Because the setup isn't too complicated once you know it.
Yeah, once you get the hang of things, most people don't start putting things all over the place and get their own kind of personal setups for how things are supposed to look. Although, obviously, some things you need to keep in the right places.
All right, so we'll take this one. Here. Go. There we go. Right.
Kojo, boot up, 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 Kojo, boot up. Yeah! So that is our Beyond the Gates promotional image.
Ooh, that is very vibrant.
That is vibrant. That is saturated. Colorful.
Yeah, so it's got would you call them the main heroes of the faction?
I call them kind of the main heroes of the faction because they're all the ones that are featured on all the starter decks.
Right.
And they're also kind of all introductory to sort of the altered mechanics.
Mm.
So for instance, Sierra and Oddball do all the stuff with the brass bugs. Kojo and Buddha has a big token that he puts down, but it's not really very permanent. It only comes every other time. Devenka and Blotch have the dice rolling. Sigismar and Wingspan have the whole token thing going on. And then Akesha and Taru have the whole, after you thing going on. It's very indicative of each faction's kind of baseline mechanics without getting too complicated.
Yeah, and one thing I really appreciate is sometimes when you get these playmats, when you blow them up, the details sometimes get a little blurry.
Oh yeah, the resolution gets messed up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that here, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And super pretty. You're getting more of those details that you don't normally get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Very beautiful art.
Just seeing everyone gallantly fly off into the tumult as they go beyond the gates.
All right, and then the next one we have, and this is the last regular size.
This is the last regular size mat that we have. Now this is the one that I believe has the
whale.
The whale.
What's his real name? It's the Kaibara?
Kaibara, Asgarthan Leviathan. We'll put it on screen here. We'll see if we got that right. There we go. That's pretty.
Very nice.
I do love. I am a bit of a sucker for twilight or nighttime skies, kind of looks on that. I don't. It's so interesting to me that just we're so fascinated with sky whales in media.
I have that thought every time I see this. It's the big sky whale, the big glowing mushroom. That's always the high fantasy.
It's so very high fantasy.
And you never get tired of it.
You never get tired of it. People just like whales.
I also like his tusks.
He's got fun tusks.
Yeah. He's got these, I don't know if it's supposed to be gem or like aura, but he's got like these cool like gem veins.
Almost kind of like growths on him.
Yeah.
Because you can see all like also the greenery that's like growing on top of him. Mm-hmm. He feels very alive, very vibrant. Like he's got his own ecosystem going on.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can see Kojo and Buddha there too, which is fun.
Yeah, just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, no, this is really pretty. And so this one has the play zones.
Mm-hmm. That one has the play zones for when you need that reminder of how where everything goes.
Yeah, but it doesn't...
can be very helpful.
And it doesn't distract from the piece, which is nice, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially zoomed out, like, you don't really notice the play zones unless you're, like, playing.
Yeah.
And now, the one I'm really excited for.
Now we got the big one.
Yeah,
we got the big Chad of a game mat.
It barely fits on the screen.
It does. It does barely fit. This is let's see, what is that measurement? It's 70 to 75. Yeah, 70 by 75.
Yeah. Let me get this guy open.
That's our prime game mat.
Oh boy.
Extra large. Turbo big. Oh boy. That's a chunker. That's a biggin. 2 sky whales? Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, it, even like unfurled, it still like barely fits here because the edge is like right there.
Oh yeah, that's a gorgeous mat though. You can have 2 sky whales.
They're different sky whales.
They're different. Oh yeah.
I never noticed they're different sky whales.
They are different sky whales.
This sky whale has the fun
kind of like gemmy, icy stuff going on. That one's more
earthy. This is the more earthy sky whale. It doesn't have those gemstones.
Yeah, there's 2 different sky whales.
I never noticed that until now.
Kojo's ridden both of them though.
Yes, it's important that Kojo rides both of them.
Kojo is a sky whale rider. Well, he's like a free runner. He wants to go places fast. Fastest way, sky whale.
Oh, absolutely. That's really cool. I never noticed that before, and it really adds like a nice. Because I like the symmetry of it, the way it kind of flows and curls into each other with the shape. But having like the 2 different color tails makes it feel a little more dynamic.
Yeah.
Rather than just having the same image twice. Like, it's just that little difference that really helps. And then no one has to worry about fighting over who gets the whale.
Yeah, you both have whales. And you both have your own individual cool whales.
Yeah. Do most games offer double playmats like this?
No, actually, I haven't looked into too many of them. I know Digimon does. I actually don't know how many have their own like individual thing. I'm sure that Gamegenic has a large and good selection of mats that you can find us selling over at gamersguildaz.com.
Absolutely. Because Altered has a very unique play system, so having the dual mat is great, especially when you have someone who's still learning the game or 2 people learning the game. It also has the play space for the expedition cards, the tumult cards.
Yeah, the tumult cards for helping out on that.
Can't really see it on screen, which is which is good, you know, because it doesn't like distract from the rest of the playmat. But up close, you can see very clearly where the play zones are for the tumult cards.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a lovely, lovely playmat.
We love to see it.
All right, and then I'll give this back to you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, so next we're going to go ahead and start with the art sleeves, which I'm very excited about because they're very, very pretty in person.
They're gorgeous.
They have a nice texturing to them, which makes it easier to...
Makes it more grippy.
Yeah, exactly. And Gamegenic is always very good about packaging these nice and safely, you know, so you know these are going to be nice and clean when you take them out.
Nice, clean, crisp.
All right, so we got Akesha and Taru for our first one.
Let's get a look at that. Oh, yeah.
That is very pretty. Very poiple.
Very poiple. That's Kesha and Taru. Let's get a look at the next.
Yeah, so the next one we have Nevenka and Blotch. Love the way that the dragon paint, or the paint dragon borders the card.
I love Blotch so much. I just like... The paint dragon is just like such a fun like concept.
It is, yeah.
It just seems so fun to me. Instead of breathing fire, he probably like, you know, just kind of breathes a big like paint blotch. Just like,
well, he also has that one spell card, Paint Prison, where he does
That's
just
true.
like put you into a mural.
Quick, muralized. Let's see you get out of that one, punk.
And I didn't mention this before, but the quality of these is really nice. It's very sturdy. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna tear it when I like pinch it to get the card inside. And the plastic is like very clean and nice and firm.
Yeah, I definitely had that with other sleeves before, where I pinch the card to get inside and the edges rip a little bit. These ones don't really feel like that.
No, not at all. And no glare either, which is really nice.
That's a good sleeve.
We also have Teja and Naru. Teja?
Yeah, Teja and Naru.
Teja and Naru.
Teja and Nara?
Nara, you're right.
Nara,
Teja
yeah, Teja and Nara.
I was getting them mixed up.
We know Muna so well.
Yeah, no, the orange on this is really pretty.
It's gorgeous. Very, very autumnal.
Yes. For some reason, I thought you meant like optometrist.
Yes, very optometrist. Very optimal. Very optics.
Very autumny.
Very autumny.
Yeah, the orange and green contrast each other really nicely.
They do. Oh, that just reminds me of, the forest in autumn. It's gorgeous. That's like one of my favorite like landscapes to be in.
The one thing with sleeves though is that I'll just be doing this the whole time I have them.
Just kind of feeling them.
Yeah, because the texture does feel really good.
Oh yeah.
But I'll just be sitting there with my hand just.
It's a good stem.
It's a good stem.
Yeah.
And then.
Sigismund and Wingspan.
Yes. Glorious.
Glorious. Love those guys.
Oh, I didn't notice this before. I'm pretty sure that's one of the permanents in the corner there. Yeah, it's the diamond shape that lets you.
Oh, yeah. The big. What's it called?
There's a real name for it.
There's a real name for it. It's the big diamond in the sky that's kind of floating. It's part of the series of like all of the factions have like their like kind of like strong.
Is it an Ortis Bastion? I don't think it's an Ortis Bastion.
Ortis Bastion. I know their Ouroboros Lyra Bastion. Is it called named Bastion? It can't be. That would be confusing.
No, because the Bastion is the one where it's the big ship that lets you make more Ortis tokens. This one like boosts your tokens.
Well, no. The one that makes more tokens is the Ortis Carrier.
Right.
We will flash all these cards on screen so you can know how correct or wrong we are on these.
But yeah, that's definitely one of those permanents from the Ortis faction, which I think is a really cool detail.
Is that the monolith?
Monolith sounds right.
That sounds right. I think it's the monolith.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the monolith back there.
Yeah.
Which is a super cool detail.
That's his city. He's flying around, protecting it. I mean, honestly, if I had a griffin, I would also be flying around the city. I'd be basically Batman going around on a big old griffin.
And then next we have Sierra and Oddball.
Sierra and Oddball. Oddball's kind of one of my favorite, not favorite companion like overall, but I think he's one of the cutest. I really like Oddball.
Super cute. One thing I can't unsee it now. Sometimes the little circuitry here looks like a smiley face to me.
It does look like a smiley face. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, he's fun.
Like a little smiling cyclops.
Yeah, the reddish oranges from the rocks is really nice. And there's this little corner of purple that I can't stop looking at. I like this little corner of like lavender purple going on here.
It gives the shot balance.
It does. It really does. Oh, I really like the art on this. Especially like the metalwork on like her prosthetics and gadgets.
Oh yeah. It looks really cool. It's good. It's good stuff.
And
Kojo Buddha, Kojo Buddha, Kojo Buddha. Love that guy. Love that little fire cat.
Super cute.
Just sprinting through the desert. Just having a good time. Just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes. Just friends being pals.
Yeah, and the way that it's saturated, it gives it a very sunny feel, which I think is very suitable for the fiery Bravos faction.
Oh, yeah. That makes... It does. It's got the feel for it. All the art for this is very, very good. Mm-hmm. It is kind of crazy because, like, in the starter deck, Kojo actually has, like, an alternate art where he's got, like, more of, like, a purpley look to him. I think it looks very good, but I think they really much more, like, nailed his character with this kind of look that they have with it.
Yeah, having the red just really helps contrast the blue in his hair. You know, because I think before it was, like, a blue updo with, like, a white jacket and some, like, blue and purple accents. Yeah. This one's good.
It's good.
And speaking of art, so I don't usually... I really like the card backs for Altered normally, so I really appreciate that they just made a card back sleeve. Because you could just use like a penny sleeve or just any transparent sleeve.
Yeah.
But then you don't get that glare.
Yeah. You don't get that glare.
And I also get that texture too.
Get that texture. Get that good feel. Get that good stim.
Yeah, and just like it looks really good printed as a sleeve. I'm very happy with it.
Very nice. Good sleeves. Very good sleeves. Very good feel. Very good look. Very good.
Cover girl.
Cover girl.
And then we got some boxes. Thank you. So the first box we have here is the one with code. Oh, it's the it's just all the heroes on each side.
It's all the heroes on every side, everywhere, all around you.
There you go.
Box.
Ooh, and it's got a space for writing on it too, which is good. Ooh, that feels a lot nicer than I thought it would.
Oh ho.
That's definitely like the more affordable. What's it called? Like a casual.
Yeah,
box.
like a casual deck box.
Because I know they have like casual binders, so casual deck box. I'm pretty sure, but it feels sturdy. Like this is a sturdy guy right here.
Sturdy guy. Good construction.
Oh. For your tokens.
For your tokens. Wow, that's a very nice little box.
Right there.
We got some tokens right there we can stick on inside. It's like a little treasure chest for holding your things.
That's not going to open either, which is good.
That's a good shape. That's a good feel.
I also really appreciate that, because whenever companies like recycle their assets, they tend to just like slap it on and call it a day. Yeah. They reorganize all the characters for everything. To
make the layout actually read right.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have like a good example I can just pull out of thin air, but I just appreciate that attention to detail to just make everything look nice.
Right. That does look nice.
Yeah. But and it's just nice that they also have a separate compartment for
all your little tokens things, because those are important in this game.
They are very important.
Yeah, I think there are other card games where you don't necessarily need as many like accoutrements as little like counters and things to track things, but you definitely need those for Altered. Track your little guy and going on the tumble, and tracking all your boosts and your anchors and your sleepy guys. Sleep maybe not so much, but bleeding definitely though.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice. I'm not worried about breaking it either. Like this is.
Oh yeah. That's good, solid construction right there. And then we got the Expedition soft box.
Ignore that tear. So here's one featuring the art of the hardback.
Oh, I like that a lot. That's a cool little like kind of rehash of the design of the back.
It all connects too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's neat. I like that.
Because you can follow the gold here and it kind of comes up and around and back over this way and around and back down this way and over here. Like it all connects.
I like that box. That's a good box.
There's that front part where you can write your deck name on there. You show it on the other one too.
Yeah, put little labels on things.
Hey.
Say like your little deck name, whatever you want there.
Ooh, it looks really good on the token box too.
That does look good on the token box. That's a good look.
Love it.
For your little treasure token chest. Or token treasure chest. Token chest of... Wait. Chest with tokens in them. Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, I got it. I'm on it. Got it.
All right, and now I think we're going to go ahead and open some boosters.
We're going to crack open some booster boxes.
Here we are, the official street release of Beyond the Gates.
Beyond the Gates.
Yeah.
36 booster packs.
36 booster packs. Yes, 36 booster packs right there. Less than half the price of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is definitely a more affordable option. And though the Kickstarter does have very, very pretty art, also the regular art for it is also gorgeous.
All right, there are our boosters.
Our boosters.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
I'll do it like the way nature intended.
The way that Equinox intended.
All right, I'll put it just like right there. How's that look?
That looks good.
Okay.
Let's get in there.
All right. So tell me about the, because you're building, which kind of decks are you building for Altered right now?
I'm workshopping a few different decks right now. I'm working on like kind of like a Bravos like mid-range kind of deck. The idea behind it is Bravos has a lot of has a lot of things to get rid of fleeting, and has a lot of cards that kind of recur over and over again, like the rare Sun Wukong, Mulan. So I'm kind of trying to work out a way to do that and also ramp, because I think one of the things that Province does the best is ramp. It gets you more mana orbs and resources, more cards, and flips them over and over. And I think the best thing that you can do with that is not actually play big creatures, because I think removal is pretty strong. I think the best thing you can do is just use it to get more medium-sized creatures and smaller creatures that you can play over and over again. Mind you, reserves are limited. You can only have 2 cards at the end of your turn, so your mileage may vary. I'm also workshopping a Ismir deck, because I think Afanas is just going to be really good. And I think Akesha and Taru is really good. And, you know, I also really like Lindiwi and Ma is my favorite out of Ismir. But I think they're going to be overshadowed a little bit by the other ones, just because Afanas synergizes with spells and Akesha really synergizes also with spells. And I think removal spells are going to be what's really, really good. So, you know, that's just kind of my feel on it. I also have played with the idea of doing a Lyra Festival deck, try to get that, pull a win out of a hat.
Because remind me what Lyra Festival does?
Lyra Festival is, let's see if I remember it. It's if you have among all of your creatures, if you have a sleeping token, an anchored token, and a boost token, you win the game. Which can be a little hard to pull off, but particularly with certain like obviously you're stuck in Lyra. But if you have stuff like you could do that with Nevenka and Blotch, you can give out possibly 2 of those tokens. I think that there's ways that you could work around it and get it to work, but maybe not. Currently, I just need to get a lot of cards so I can get more copies of the same cards. Because I'm working with just what I've opened from the boxes, and so, for instance, my Lindiwi and Ma deck, I don't have as many Anubai. Don't have as many Anubai as I'd like for that one, and that's a really, really good one because that also forces the opponent to sacrifice. So you both sacrifice, but of course, you have the synergy for sacrifice, so you actually wanted to sacrifice in the first place. Sacrificing 101. Make sure when you sacrifice, you're profiting more off the sacrifice than they are. But yeah, that's kind of where my head is at. I didn't think that Bravos was going to be the one that I was interested in, but now, honestly, they're kind of the ones that have sort of my full attention. Also, Axiom for their reserve synergies. But I don't know, what kind of factions, what sort of deck kind of interests you for, like, Altered?
So I also am really fascinated by the sacrifice deck for Lindiwi and Ma. I just haven't had a chance to get enough sacrifice cards to make it worth building that deck, but I am excited. I have very bad indecision paralysis that I get a lot. So any card where it's like, ooh, got a unique foiler. Any deck where it's like, oh, don't worry, just kill a bunch of your guys and you'll win. I like those kinds of decks.
Yeah.
I'm also a big fan of Axiom and Brass Bugs. So anything where I get to have a lot of Brass Bugs.
Brass Bugs are so cute.
Anything that lets me use tokens. I really like token-based decks. Those are my favorites for sure.
Yeah. Token-based decks are very good. And I think especially in Altered, like, token decks feel very good to play. Just because a lot of them, you just have stuff like Ordis Carrier we were talking about earlier, or Sigismar and Wingspan. Stuff that generates tokens just consistently just feels nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and the permanents are really nice too, and I like that they're so specific to each faction, which obviously they are. Yeah. But I don't know, just each faction plays very differently.
Yeah, they each have very clear-cut identities, which I like a lot.
Yeah. Because, while Axiom is all permanent based, so you have more permanents, each faction has, permanents, and each permanent is based around that faction's mechanic. So, with Ordis, it's all about token generation and boosting your tokens. Like Grand Endeavor.
Grand Endeavor
is probably the one Ordis token, or Ordis permanent that isn't about making tokens.
Yeah.
Just get to move your expedition forward.
Instead, it's about winning.
Yeah, I love these kinds of cards where you kind of build up towards, and it's like, you only have so much time to stop me now.
The game's on a clock now.
Ooh, here we go, our first unique.
Oh.
3 boosters in? How many boosters was that?
That was, 3-4 boosters in, something like that.
Very cool. So we have a Muna Keylon Elemental.
That's cool. I like the art on that.
It's very nice. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a Muna sleeve.
It's a Muna Keylon Elemental. That's very nice. Got that all nice and sleeved up, looking pretty, well protected.
Good to go. I'm going to put it somewhere nice and safe.
Good to go.
Yeah, I sleeved a, where was it? I sleeved Hooked earlier because I like Hooked. I think it's funny.
It is a funny card.
And I just love Axiom, so I'm like, I'm going to sleeve this guy real quick. So when you saw me doing that earlier, that's why.
Just grabbing it really quick.
Yeah.
Just because that one's not a unique, but it's important to us.
Right.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh, no, it's just, I just like the cards. Sorry, I just like, Rin and Orchid is like one of the... We got another one?
Yeah. It's
the three little pigs. 3 little pigs.
Oh my gosh, this card's so much fun. What does this one do? At dusk, if you control one or more landmarks, draw a card. Normally it's a boost.
Oh, drawing a card is very good.
Yes.
Since Altered is, it's very, very early on in the stages right now. This is only the first, first set of cards that's come out. A card draw feels very, very good on anything that actually has it. Because, that's the thing is like, you get into other games and obviously they're further along. They have a lot more card draw. With the way that Altered is set up, it feels very... Card draw and like getting stuff into your reserve feels very deliberate. It feels very difficult to do and you have to like really build around it if you want more of that. But of course, any card game, card draw is good. You want more card in hand.
You want cards in your card game.
Yeah, you want cards in your card game. You bought all the cards, you want to see all the cards.
Yeah, because we have a buddy, because with Altered, if you run out of cards in your deck, you just put your discard in your deck.
There's no decking out. If you go through all your cards, you just flip over your discard pile and you start playing again. You shuffle it first, but
Our buddy Will is a big fan of this feature.
Yeah, very big fan of this feature.
He said he went through his deck 3 times in a game.
He's got a Trace and Ross deck where he says he cycled through his deck 3 times in a game.
Oh,
which can be very, very good because then you see all the stuff that you discarded again. The only stuff you don't see again is anything that you resourced and turned into mana orbs. So
yeah,
it's a very valid strategy. That is an interesting choice because that's something you have to really think about when you're building a game. Is like, what happens when the deck runs out? You lose the game, you just flip your discard over and come right back around. It's a very something you wouldn't immediately think about, but something that is very defining to the game and to later mechanics and archetypes.
Absolutely.
Because, like, for instance, you have certain games where there are mechanics entirely built around either trying to make your opponents lose by decking them out or doing something heinous when you deck out, which you just lose when you deck out. So, but with this, the strategy, of course, is if you discarded a card, you want to see it again, just go through your deck again real quick. Just bring that carousel all the way back around. But yeah, it's a interesting strategy. I think Axiom in particular is very well suited to doing that. Only because they have so much stuff where it's like, resupply, chuck things into your reserve. And with that, of course, you get when you.
We got another one.
We got another one.
Another one. It is the Foundry Engineer.
The Foundry Engineer.
So when you play from hand, you may pay 1. If you do so, I gain 2 boosts. And if you play from reserve, the next permanent you play in the afternoon costs 1 less. Love a card that does lots of things.
We like a card that does lots of things. We like a Swiss knife card. It covers a lot of the board. Covers a lot of bases. There it is, snug as a bug in a rug.
As every Swiss Army card should be.
As every Swiss Army card should be.
Goes away.
Let's get more. Fetting Crowbar. I'm still like thinking about like a Fetting Crowbar deck. They are also very good probably for going through your deck fast. Although they slow it down a bit, obviously, because you draw differently. But you do resupply it every week, which is good. That's very good. Seeing more of your cards. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I was the most excited about Lyra just because I loved the idea of just like a gambling focused faction. But I never got around to playing it and just went immediately to Axiom when, again, I saw the bugs.
The bugs.
But yeah, I'm excited to try them out because they do seem like a fun faction to play.
Mm-hmm. I still would like to come back to Iraq and Kibble. Mm-hmm. They're very much gambling right now. It will be interesting to see if there is later on if they come back to mechanics for kind of like top deck manipulation, stuff where it's like Scry and Magic the Gathering where you kind of look at the top cards.
Got another unique foiler.
A unique foiler. We can foil up those 3 little picks.
Or our Foundry Engineer. So in case you don't know, you use these to make these into foils. So any unique you have, you can turn into a foil with this guy.
Yeah.
And we already got 2 of those.
We got 2 of those.
And we got 1 for a common foiler, so... Like, I'm very satisfied with this pull rate considering how cheap it is compared to the other one.
Oh, yeah. Very, very much so.
Oh, there they are. Arak and Kibble.
Arak and Kibble. Just talking about them. Yeah. But yeah, right now it feels like it's very much a kind of like a gambling. Like, obviously you can try and balance out the percentages of, cards you want to play versus cards you want to flip off the top. But if they ever introduce like more kind of top deck manipulation, like peek at the top card of your library or stuff of that deck, if you want to take a peek at the top of your deck or, move things off of the top of your deck. Actually, let's see. I don't think we have any... I don't think there are any cards that let you look at the top cards of your library in there yet.
There's a few, I think, where it lets you draw the... Because resupplying is drawing the top card and putting it straight to your reserve.
Yeah, it's just taking the top card of your deck and just putting it straight in your reserve.
I don't know why. I'm getting deja vu that there's at least 1 card that lets you look at the top card. Because the Ouroboros Bastion rare Axiom variant, it says resupply, but when you resupply, instead you take 2 cards and you put 1 in your...
That's right, actually.
Yeah.
When you resupply, you look at 2 of them. I think you put 1 in your hand, put 1 in reserve.
Something like that.
Or it might be put 1 in reserve, put 1 in discard.
There's the diamond. You were right. It is the monolith.
The monolith. I was right.
That's the one.
Big diamond. Which is actually kind of a strange name now that I think about it. Because a monolith is specifically like a kind of an obelisk structure. It's supposed to be a straight up and down shape, but the diamond sky is the monolith. It's floating around. I guess it's high up there, and monoliths are supposed to be high up there, so they definitely got that part down.
Yeah. Right. Basir and Kaizamon.
Basir and Kaizamon kind of seem like the best, like just kind of generic Bravos commander to me. I've been debating a lot between which ones to use, because obviously Achadian Surge, you've got the big creature synergy, but I'm not really going for big creatures. But it is card draw, which is also really good. Basir and Kaizamon, it's like, if you're building around boost, it's really good, but I'm not necessarily planning to build around boost. But also, Bravos kind of has, like, every other card has boost on it. So it's not really that hard to synergize around. And then Kojo and Buddha is really good, but they also only have the thing appear on your first turn. And recently, the multiplayer rules for the game came out. And for those, of course, you pass the first player token around. So it seems like anyone that, basically, instead of saying every other turn this thing happens, you're saying every 4th turn this happens.
Well, because the way that the multiplayer goes, which we haven't covered yet, the official rules are out, but nobody's played the 1v4, 2v2.
There's a free-for-all and there's a 2v2 mode.
Yeah, so the way it works is rather than having your expedition cards just going this way, they make like a T shape.
Yeah.
And you have like 1 person in each corner, essentially.
Basically, yeah. And so you're going for one expedition, you're going across, you're going against the person across from you. For the other expedition, you're going against the person to the side of you, and then the person who's cat a corner from you, you're just not really going against all that much. Although you can still interact with them by using target opponent or I believe it's if a card says target opponent, you specifically choose an opponent to target, or if it says target player, and if it says your opponent instead, that means all your opponents. So
yeah, because earlier the point you were making that if you're playing free-for-all or 2v2 as Kojo and Buddha, you only get to use Buddha once every 4 turns.
Yeah, which kind of just makes Kojo and Buddha not that good at multiplayer. Same for like Akesha and Taru. Lindiwi and Ma, actually, I think it's better because I believe their thing is
Whenever you sacrifice Maw gets a boost.
But I was about to say, her ability costs 1, I think, if you are the first player?
If you are not the first player.
If you are not the first player. Okay, never mind. So it is worse as well.
But I mean, it's still, like, you can still use it.
It's still good. It's still very usable. That's the thing. All of it's still, like, usable. But it's not going to be quite as good anything that is based around the first player token.
Right. And I mean, one thing we gotta remember too is casual play exists. So
that's very true, yeah.
You can play however you want. So if you wanted to say, oh, Koji and Buddha get to do their thing every other turn.
Yeah, people would probably do something like that. Yeah. That makes sense. Just so characters don't get, like, strictly weaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to get into the competitive scene. We had a sealed event the other day, I want to say Saturday, and there were like a good chunk of people after that, yeah.
The game is growing.
Yeah, sealed is really fun. When we were starting this video, I was really excited because in my mind I'm like, oh, we'll get to play sealed again. But it's just unpacking, which is fun. I do like unpacking these, but I was like very excited to play sealed.
Sealed.
Because it is fun just kind of like thinking on the spot, like, okay, how am I going to make this work?
It's a very different experience of deck building, like, with all the resources available to you and all the time available to you, like planning for like an event, or if you're going to like just game night at your local game store, versus on the fly you're trying to make something just that works, kind of building the tracks while the train is in motion, kind of thing.
Yeah, we got a rare foiler, and plus the way the factions, like the heroes, interact with other faction cards. It's really interesting to play.
Very interesting to see how the different factions interact with each other. I'm still curious if they're going to put in another kind of play or game format that uses multiple factions.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I would be very curious because, like, for instance, I think Lindiwi and Ma would be very good if you could play it in, like, Ortis as well. Because a lot of the Ismir unique, not unique, a lot of the Ismir rares that are faction shifts come from Ortis, and they help out a lot, like Ortis Carrier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it will definitely be interesting to see all the stuff that you could do, all the synergies you could pull together.
I think I like this Anubis card a little more than the alternate art.
Really?
Anubis. I like that he's giant. I think that's cool because there's like a guy.
That's very true. The perspective is of how big he is much more apparent since you have the little comparison with the guy. Versus the other one, he's outside and looking much more grand, but this one you really get the imposing presence.
It's imposing. He's helping you with your taxes. You're intimidated because you don't understand taxes and because he is so giant.
But he will help you with your taxes. I was gonna say, why do you think he's got the scales? It's to help you count your coins. There's Fen and Crowbar again. I keep going back to Fen and Crowbar.
You really want to play Fen and Crowbar?
I really want to play Fen and Crowbar, but then
you can have this Fen.
I go, oh, thank you. And then I go through like a lot of the Lyra cards, and not as many of the Lyra cards interest me as much as I thought they would. But they do have some really good ones. Like I talked about that like Lyra Festival deck.
Yeah. Or
they also have that, what's it called? That one where you like pull like 4 cards off the top of your deck, and any creatures you put down into whichever expedition you want. Which I think is very interesting. That would be very interesting synergy with like Achati and Surge if you were to do kind of crossover for that, kind of trying to get those big creatures out. I think that would be very, very interesting to see. Yeah, I would be curious to see all the combos that people would come up with of like just really cards that are absolutely busted together because, they weren't tested together.
Right. Yeah, when I did Apanos with Bravos, I felt like it was very busted.
Felt powerful. Felt strong. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, it is interesting because I don't feel like there's a strongest faction yet. I would be curious to see once more tournaments are played and stuff like that. Once we have more data of what feels like the kind of what comes out on top, because usually once a card game's been out for a bit, kind of the most powerful archetypes usually come out. But at the moment, everything feels kind of balanced. I would say the one that feels kind of maybe the most annoying.
Oh, we got another unique.
Unique?
Yeah, this is the Lyra Thespian.
The Lyra Thespian.
All right. Get
Gorgeous. Let's get that in a sleeve. Let's get that one coated up.
Yeah, there was like some other sleeves that we were using for the demo decks, and it took me forever to get those open. These opened really quick.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice.
Very nice. Very beautiful.
Great. I think it's the last one.
Last one. Oh yeah, but I think currently the most like sort of annoying one to go against is probably Ismir. That's just because of like they have the most like removal spells, the most way to deal with things. But even then, there are other ones that like I think everyone has at least one removal spell, if not faction shifted, somewhere in there. And I would say actually probably the one that has the most removal spells other than Ismir is probably Bravos actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they've got like Mana Reaping, which turns a permanent or a creature into a mana orb. They've got Mana Explosion. They've got the other mana one, which lets you sacrifice one of your mana to destroy one of their things. They've got theirs generally has extra caveats attached, but they also have removal, and it's pretty well cost removal because there's of course sort of the downside to it.
Yes, just want to show off our big pulls here, which I'm
big
very.
Pulls.
Oh, hold on, that one doesn't count. That one's for me personally.
That's just a personal big pull.
Yeah, so we got some foilers. I had a rare foiler, but I lost it somewhere in the pile of cards.
All in the mess.
But yeah, so we have these plus one rare foiler, and then 4 unique cards from one box, which I think, for the price, is very nice.
Gorgeous. Love those.
We had a good diverse set of factions, too. So we have Axiom, Lyra, Muna, and Bravos.
We do. Well, that's good stuff. And if you would like to get any of your own booster boxes to buy, you can get those over at gamersguildaz.com.
You can also buy these singles at gamersguildazcards.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta like and subscribe.
We gotta like and subscribe.
You gotta like and subscribe.
You gotta like and subscribe.
If you want to keep seeing more cards, you gotta like and subscribe.
You gotta like and subscribe. If you want to see these cards, you need to like and subscribe.
All right, but I think we are good to go here. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye.